Hey everybody, it's Lon Seib, and we've got another Ryzen-based laptop that we're going to be reviewing on the main channel. I bought this one the other day on Amazon, well under $500. This one is closer to $400. It is the Inspiron 5000. It's got a Ryzen 5 2500U, 8 gigs of RAM, and a 1 terabyte hard drive. And pretty soon on the channel, we're going to have a week of nothing but Ryzen laptops. We've got 3 of them in. We had a couple of live streams already as we've been playing with them, and this was the one I was waiting on, and we're going to include this one in that mix as well. It's a little heavy compared to the other ones. It actually feels really heavy, and we'll have a full review of this, of course, on the main channel. And I'm also thinking about doing a video about all the things you can do with one of these Ryzen chips and how well it performs at some basic tasks, so we'll be exploring that as well. This one's got a 1080p display on it, 15-inch of course, and a lot more ports than the other ones we've looked at. So we have HDMI out, a full HDMI. You've got gigabit Ethernet, 2 USB 3.0 ports, and a headphone jack on this side, along with power. Hopefully you saw all that. Looks like it went out of frame for a second. On the other side here, we've got an SD card slot, and I've been finding that all of these have had SD card slots, but none of these really have been allowing you to stick the card all the way in, and this one has the same problem, so you won't be walking around with your card like that too often. And it's got another USB 3 slot here along with a Kensington lock. These are not fanless, of course. You'll have some venting on them and stuff, so just be aware of that. And we'll talk about the fan noise in the full review. And this is what the inside looks like. It does not appear as though the keyboard is... Actually, maybe it is backlit. Let's see. We're going to boot it up real quick if it's got any juice in the tank here, and see what we can do. What I like about these Ryzen-based laptops is that they tend to perform better than the Intel equivalents do at the same price. So oftentimes you can get somewhat decent game performance out of it. We've been seeing it run GTA 5 at 30 frames per second, and many other games that are in the closer to AAA area tend to do better on these Ryzen devices versus the others. So it looks like it's not booting up, so the battery is likely dead, so we'll have to charge it up ahead of our review. But let's take it apart real quick and see what's inside. All right, so we got the case off. It wasn't that hard to do. And inside, you can see what we've got. Now, this one came with a 1 terabyte mechanical SATA drive, and you could swap this out, of course, if you want. They also have an NVMe slot over here, so you could put in a faster solid-state drive. So I think when we boot this one up, it's going to run a little slower than some of the other Ryzens we got in recently, and that will probably be reflected in the review just because the hard drive is going to be a little slower. But again, you can mitigate that by replacing this with an SSD or putting an SSD in here or both, because you've got room for all of that inside. And then what was also nice to see is that there are 2 distinct RAM slots on here, which means that we've got our 8 gigabytes of RAM in dual channel configuration, and we can swap both of those modules out. I'm pretty sure you can go to 16 on these Ryzen-based devices, so you could, I believe, upgrade the memory beyond what it has inside. And if I'm wrong, you can let me know down in the comments section. But it's good to see that both modules are accessible here, because the other ones we've looked at just had a single module with the other 4 gigs of RAM soldered on the board. This one has both socketed, and then of course your Ryzen processor is there. So I'm going to put this thing back together. We're going to have a full review coming up soon on the main channel at lon.tv, so stay tuned.
This channel is brought to you by the lon.tv supporters, including gold level supporters, the 4 Guys with Quarters podcast, Tom Albrecht, Rajesh, Logic GR, and Kalyan Kumar. If you want to help the channel, you can by contributing as little as $1 a month. Head over to lon.tv/support to learn more. And don't forget to subscribe. Visit lon.tv/s.